So yeah, we would troll these, like, the professors, and we would troll the project and stuff like that. This one was purely me, but the next one was both me and Jeremy completely trolling the project. The project was called Shopping. It was written by Jeremy. It was about two vampires who were going shopping for people to suck their blood. Jeremy could probably tell you it much better than I can, but we cut so much out of our version of Shopping. We did something different with it that is very strange, and it's kind of hard to know all the changes we made without seeing the original edit. I don't even know where the original edit is. We completely did a 180 with this film. We did a 180 and then we did a 720 after the 180. We already did it. And this is Shopping. It's 8 minutes long. They had us put all these. This is all stock footage that we found.
Kids, in the fall of 2015, I had one of the oddest encounters of my life.
Okay.
While most of my adventures with your Uncle Jake were
So that voiceover was completely Jeremy's idea. Like, we just thought, like, let's turn it into like a How I Met Your Mother scenario and we'll frame the film like that. That was not how the film was supposed to go.
like something at the A-Team. This was the
hey,
night I met of my adventures with your Uncle.
There's an important piece of dialogue here. Listen to it.
While most of my adventures with your Uncle Jake were like something at the A-Team, this was the night I met someone who, in the fullness of time,
Remember that.
came to terrify me in a very profound way.
Anyway, we were going to approach you like civilized folk. How about that one? However, my friend here, he's a little mentally defective. He thought we were going to kill you.
This is completely different from the original edit. We cut it completely away from the... There were like 2 full scenes that we cut away, that we cut out.
Let me tell you about the first time I died.
Are you telling the truth?
Yeah. Everything from the neck up, useless. Hey, don't talk with your mouth full.
Why not just kill me?
You kidding?
What?
That would be like killing a chicken every time you have an omelet.
By the way, we had other classes in conjunction with this class where we filmed it. I think this was this was 35 millimeter. Yeah, this was 35 millimeter. We built like this sewer set. Like all that, like that sewer that they're in, we actually built that, so that's
A
interesting.
whole month of feeding like that would wipe out almost everyone.
That would be like Daybreakers all over again, so yeah, don't do that.
And I've found it's a lot easier just to...
Oh my god! I totally forgot! Okay. No offense to Joe or to Kyle, who was the director of photography here. No offense to them. I love those guys. But this framing makes it look like... This framing of this shot, I can't remember if they did other shots, they might have. Maybe it was like saved with some inserts. But this shot looks like she's giving him a handy at the same time Jake is giving him a blowy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Look at this, dude. Look at this.
Don't do that.
And I've found it's a lot easier just to ask someone.
Look at that. And then he comes up.
Gross.
What did I just say? Were you born in a barn?
Oh my god. Oh, that was funny. I totally forgot about that.
But Jesus? Make me hit you.
Oh, that's gross. Is it just hard to get rid of him or something?
Yeah.
That was a reused shot we did for that joke.
Was the most realistic.
No comment.
Come on.
I'm not gonna answer that.
It's Twilight, isn't it?
Actually, that's not too far off.
Alright, breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. Honestly. No Twilight. Sorry, I might have...
I know what you're thinking. This doesn't really seem like a troll yet.
That was for earlier.
Okay.
Just wait. Oh, just wait, my friends.
Oh, I feel lightheaded.
Did I do that?
To this day, I'm not sure what she meant by that. She clearly did that, but I was trying to score, so...
I forgot about that too. Jeremy, who wrote the script. I remember we were in the editing bay in the editing class doing this. I think this was editing 2, and we were like, what does that mean? She slaps him and then asks, did I do that? And then we're like, what does that mean? So he put in a voiceover where he's like, he makes fun of his own writing. That's so good, dude. That's so good. Jeremy, thumbs up, bro.
She clearly did that, but I was trying to score, so...
No, he just ate too much.
I'm good, guys. I don't need help getting up.
I'm Dom, by the way.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Jake.
I'm still a little shaky. Do you mind walking me home?
Really?
I mean, how else would an evening end where I mace myself in the face and fed a vampire?
Then lead the way.
There's the sewer. Little shot of the sewer.
Right. You guys go get help.
We didn't.
Oh. Stay right.
I didn't think about this before, but Jake bit me.
Nothing gets past her.
Nothing gets past you.
I'm not gonna, you know.
Oh, no. Vampirism's a bloodborne thing. You'd have to drink vampire blood for that to happen.
Is that true?
Eating vampires is really bad for
I don't even know about vampire lore or anything.
Thanks. What if I want it to happen?
You don't.
Isn't
Just-
eternity better with company?
I didn't want to say she was crazy, but I still thought it.
Just watch what happens here.
But it isn't nearly as great as life. So, what about you?
I'm just a normal girl.
No normal girl gets attacked by an idiot, feeds him her blood, and lets his friend walk her home.
Are you calling me abnormal?
I didn't want to say it, but I still thought it.
Close. I'm calling you exceptional.
Oh, Jeremy.
Well, thanks for everything.
Mortally wounding you or following you home?
Turns out it's much more fun than it sounds.
It's really not.
Yeah, I
Just-
remember that.
No.
He makes fun of his own writing. I love it.
Good night.
Night. Oh, I forgot.
I don't need to make excuses to talk to you.
Shut up.
After that night, we went on to date briefly before she burned all my stuff, and it wasn't long before she was on the run from King Rabenowitz III like we were.
I just want to point out something to you. Before this happens, you know what? Just watch it.
But that's another story.
So busting.
In 1835, Dominic Caramello was betrayed by his king and sentenced to death for a crime he didn't commit. That was the first time he died, but it wasn't the last.
Oh my god.
Today, on the run with his special friend, Jake Ramgardner, he just sort of hangs out, palling around, and occasionally going shopping.
Oh my god. Mr. Sprinkles. That's King Mortimer Rabenowitz III. So, when me and Jeremy were editing this, we got a whole bin of stock footage that we found, and we were like, we need to turn this into something. So we turned it into the A-Team. We turned it into like this weird A-Team thing with all this random stock footage that made no sense. Jeremy full of myself Hudson. I forgot about that. So we took it, we made it into something that made no sense, and we got an A. We got an A for this. And not only that, but we broke a rule and we still got an A because there was a rule that you couldn't have an end credit sequence. But we did it anyway, because we already had one in the beginning, but we did it anyway, and we still got an A. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot we did this too. The production assistants, it's Casey, me, and then Jack Oft. Jack Oft. Just another kind of FU to the project, and I don't think they caught it. And the reason I'm playing the credits is because something, again, that I don't think we were supposed to do, but we did it anyway, was an end credit scene. Now, let me put some context here. The end credit scene takes place during one of the opening scenes that we cut. It was where Jake and Dominic were on the roof of a parking garage, I think, like looking for people. Jake was like, how about that person? And he's like, no, I don't want to suck the blood of a man or something. And then Jake was like, come on, Dom, no one's gonna think you're gay.
Oh, come on, Dom.
You're gay.
Jake.
So that was Shopping, a complete troll of a movie. We trolled that movie. I almost want to watch the original edit of what it was like, because I have absolutely no idea. But that was mine and Jeremy's edit of it. So I'm really sorry, Joe. I hope this doesn't make you mad that I don't even know if you've seen this version of it. I don't know if you've seen it. We would choose an official version of Shopping, and obviously our version was not the official version of Shopping, obviously. So I got a little surprise for you guys. The guy who edited Stuck, again, the only short film that I freaking ever did at Full Sail, and the writer and editor of Shopping is here. Well, he's technically here on Zoom. So let's see what he has to say. All right, what's up, dude? Jeremy, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty great. Well, greatish. Well, I've been locked in my house for months.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This year, I just said this today, this year has been like one giant fever dream.
Yeah, it's bananas, man.
That's right. Gwen Stefani would be like, shit, this is not what I meant.
I know. Who knew this is what she was referring to all those years ago?
All those years ago. She was the one. She warned us.
The Nostradamus of our time, really.
Dude, I haven't seen your face. Dude, it's since 2015, right? Since it's been like 5 years.
We haven't even been in the same state since then. Yeah.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good. It's nice to see your face.
Yeah, most people go the other way on that. It's nice to...
Let's cut into brass tacks here. As you know, I did a reaction to some of our old Full Sail projects. And,
those are something.
Something is definitely a word to describe them. Just to start off, what was your Full Sail experience like? Because I know me and you kind of view Full Sail a little differently.
Like for me, and yeah, we have talked about this before, like where our opinions differ here. Like, I think that Full Sail was worth it for me, and definitely not for you. For the simple reason that when I went there, I didn't know anything. And I know that sounds like a slam, but like seriously, if you go there not knowing how to use a camera or never having used editing equipment and not really knowing what goes into making anything, you're gonna learn a shitload. And I, tested out of the classes that I didn't need to learn anything in, like, math and whatever.
Yeah, right. Digital literacy. What was that class?
A waste of time.
That is exactly it. Which brings me to Stuck. So Stuck, let's talk about Stuck for a little bit. Because Stuck. So I'm trying to remember, what was the class called? Because I couldn't remember it in the video.
I think that was digital cinematography.
That's what it was. Digital cinematography. Okay, that's what it was.
And we didn't really learn anything about cinematography.
Not at all.
We did get to make a short film.
Mm-hmm. I kind of made a mistake too in the video because I said that half the class was split into two separate projects, but in reality, Forrest just contacted me, if you remember him, Forrest Fort.
Oh,
and
of course.
Yeah, and he said it was actually 3 projects.
Oh, it was 3?
I think, yeah.
I didn't even remember there were 3. I thought it was Stuck and some other thing that I didn't want to do because,
right.
Stuck seemed like the better script at the time.
Right, because it was Stuck, and then I remember Rachel's project with the writer, some, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a writer.
Oh, right.
And then there was,
And then there was that comedy.
it wasn't it like, it was Nadia. She was the same actress that we
It
had.
was Nadia, and she was trying to throw like a dinner party or something.
That's what it was. Yes,
and
first
things
time.
just going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it was terrible.
They-
But that is what it was. So
They were all pretty terrible. I mean, Rachel's was pretty decent. I think Rachel's was definitely the best out of all of ours. But
well, yeah.
but you can't make a cringe video of Rachel's, but we can. But no, but so Stuck was interesting because, and I don't know if I made this clear in the video. The videos are a little disjointed. Some people were confused of like when I talked to my friends, they said, "Wait, so you made a version of Stuck, but you reacted to Jeremy's Stuck. Why did you do that?" And I'm like, okay, because we all had to do a version of Stuck, but then we all got together as a class, watched them all.
The official
Exactly.
edit.
We voted on the official edit, which was yours.
Reason was the official version, and also Carlos's end credit sequence.
And I have a theory about why your version was shown, and it was because the version of Stuck that most people did, except like me and you were like the only ones who did something different, and Carlos kind of did something different because he did like a laugh track, was all the edits were just really boring because it's just kind of a boring film and there was really nothing to them.
Yeah.
And then yours comes out and it's like it's so drastically different and it's so you, like your voice shined through it so much that we're
I think
like
mine was the only one shown that got like legit laughs
exactly
based on the content, and not like yours that got legit laughs based on what you did.
right. Well, I think you realized, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you realized that Stuck was a train wreck, the movie.
Oh yeah.
And
It
you're
was.
like, this is not funny at all, and we need to save this in the edit. Was that your mentality?
Well, yeah, because look, I spent like so much time, especially in that end scene with Nadia and stuff, just trying to make them talk like human beings.
And I kind of, I guess that's kind of falls on me a little bit for direction. Like I said, I take full responsibility over how terrible the performances are. But I thought the performances were like okay, you know, but like,
Yeah, they were okay.
They were okay.
Simply nothing I could do to make, what is it, Jake not creepy.
Yes. And I took that concept of Jake being creepy and just elevated it to the next level.
Yeah.
But I rewatched it yesterday and I was like, it sounds like I'm trying to pass the blame a little bit with the film, but I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not trying to pass the blame and say, oh, this film is bad because of these reasons. Like, I take full blame for my part of it, but I'm saying the film is bad on every aspect. I'm not just trying to pass blame here, because I'm not trying to do that at all, you know?
Yeah. I take full responsibility for my part too, because my mentality was to just make it as ridiculous as I possibly could.
Absolutely.
And, hope somebody stopped me before that became the official edit, and then it did.
Were you expecting it to become the official edit, or was that a shock to you?
I mean, it was kind of a shock until I saw, like, the other people's edits. Like, while I was putting it together, and especially with the necklace porn scene.
Right.
Like, I expected, okay, we're gonna have a good laugh about this, and then we're just not gonna deal with it ever again.
Uh-huh.
But then I watched the other cuts, and it's just a slow slog.
So slow. You know what, like, the visual that comes to my head when I think about Stuck?
What's that?
This is the visual. So, I mean, all right, this is something I didn't say in the video. I got an F for Stuck.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, do you remember that?
No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I got an F for Stuck because Eric, our professor, he gave me an F and said Brian did all my work. And the thing is like, I was still new to this whole process. I was coming from a point of view of, oh, well, I'm the director, so I can grab the camera and I can film something with it. And then when I tried to do that, he's like, you can't do that. Only the cameraman can touch the camera. But then he would go against that and be like, oh, but we're all grips today. And I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. But the visual that comes to my head is, I remember I was walking up to the monitor and Eric and Brian, literally like a fucking cartoon, come in front of me like this. Like the monitor's here, so they come in front of me, cut me off, and then they start talking about the scene, like, do you think blah, 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 and he's like, I don't, blah, 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 and they just, like, they didn't even acknowledge me or anything, and it's like, I'm like, what am I even doing here? Like, what is my job here? And as a teacher, you're supposed to explain that, but he didn't do that.
That sort of mentality was just permeated throughout the entire set. Like, I was technically the key grip, or, like, something like that, but I never had anything to do because everything that apparently I was supposed to be doing, Brian would just ask Cowboy to do.
Right.
I liked him better. So I spent the entire time mostly just goofing off and filming behind the scenes shit.
The teachers, like I said, are not even teachers. They're just people whose claim to fame was like, I was a AD on SNL for one season. And it's like, now you're teaching, like, fucking producing. It's like, what the hell? Like, what? Okay, Jason Blum, like, calm down, you know?
It seemed like you had some frustrations from the filming process that you really wanted to, get some catharsis for, Just really going to town on something you didn't enjoy doing.
That's right. And the irony is, I got an A for that edit.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's so crazy.
The things you can get A's for.
Things you can get A's for, which kind of brings us to our next thing. I did a reaction to this along with Stuck, but then the video got way too long. Shopping. Let's talk about shopping. Shopping, I'll admit, off the bat, I don't think shopping is cringe, really, to be honest. I actually think it's legitimately funny. But that's only because of your editing. But or our editing, I guess, because we edited it together. We
were a team, man.
We were a team. That was a fun class. That was really fun. That was that was like our third or second to last class, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we were editing together our final film project. So that had to be like one of the last things we did.
That's right. That was just really funny because I remember. Do you remember when we showed? Because at the end of the year, like when we were about to graduate, there was a thing called Grad Fest where we would show our projects. Do you remember when we showed Spencer and Rachel our edit, and they just fucking died laughing? They just died laughing. It wasn't even finished at the time, and they died laughing, and they were saying, you need to put this in Grad Fest. Like, this needs to be the official one. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, it was... It's the kind of thing, and it's super weird because pretty much everything I had a hand in made it into Grad Fest.
Uh-huh.
It was insanity.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the bar. Just like, okay in there? Like, okay, throw it in.
Yeah, there you go. What was your experience like on Stuck? Or on shopping. I didn't dive fully into it because I was a PA on set. And that was that wasn't as bad because I was just a PA, so I wasn't really doing anything.
I was the on-set editing guy, the video
VTR, yeah.
Monitors and stuff.
So So you were VTR. What does a VTR do?
So what I did during production was that so I would set up monitors for people to watch what was being filmed. So that's for the directors, the actors, the crew, whoever. And I would edit the footage I captured from that into a rough cut to make sure that we had coverage of what we were doing, which was absolutely bananas. And I remember, like, I think twice, because we had so many, like, overnight shoots towards the end.
Yeah.
I think it was like twice that my like phone alarm went off, because that's when I would normally be waking up, and and the teacher came in and was like, okay, you'd be fired for that. Like, hey, you've been fired twice. And then while I was editing something, like I was editing things as they would come through, it would take me like 5 minutes to stitch together a thing. He came back like, okay, you're rehired for that. Because I was just real quick on the edit.
Oh my gosh, what a productive school. What was that? Okay.
They're like, man, what an extraordinary person.
Yeah. Oh my
Just
god.
walking around in his Star Wars hoodie.
Before that, though, you were something bigger on Shopping than just VTR. You were the writer. You wrote Shopping.
I did. And that was another situation similar to my edit being picked for Stuck. Like, I got an idea in my head, and I wrote it out in, like, an hour the night the scripts were due, if you wanted to submit one.
Right.
And I did it, and of the scripts I read, it was the one that didn't suck.
Uh-huh.
And so after that, we went through the process of, like, auditioning or trying to get hired for the roles we wanted.
Right.
I wanted to be the director because I thought, and I ended up being right, that if somebody else directed it, it would not turn out.
It's not Jeremy's vision.
Yeah, it wouldn't turn out the way that it would be good.
Right, because you got a very particular style of humor.
Yeah,
and we were all close in that class, but I feel like me and you hung out more than, like, you and someone else, whatever. Like, you and, I don't know, Ed probably didn't hang out as much as, like, me and you, obviously. So it's like, I could feel, like, your sense of humor while reading Shopping the first time, I could feel that sense. I'm like, I can see these Jeremy-isms in here. So I definitely knew, as soon as you didn't get that director job, I was kind of like, oh man, I wonder how this is going to turn out. How are they going to capture Jeremy's style of humor,
Well, the thing is, and Joe got the job of director, and Joe's
great.
Joe's great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the subject matter was right for him.
Because he did this, I remember he did this post-apocalyptic comedy short where it was like, they were like saying, oh, we need to eat this thing, and it sounds like it's a body, but then it just turns out to be like a burger. That was kind of funny, because that's more in line with him, what I'm saying? I remember laughing at that, So yeah. Speaking of Joe, real quick, has Joe seen our version of Shopping?
I don't know if he has.
I don't know either. I say it in the video. I don't know if he has, because ours was not chosen as the official edit of Shopping, obviously. Yeah. And
no.
I have not seen the official edit since school. Do you know where it is? Is it even anywhere?
I have absolutely no idea. I think I tried to look for it once and I just couldn't find it. Probably because it only has maybe 100 views,
right?
Or something.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, for
Never
sure.
been able to find it. I don't know if anybody ever posted it. It might have been on Facebook at one point, but I don't know.
Right. It was just so funny seeing, and this is no disrespect to Joe or Kyle or anyone involved, in it at all.
Because those guys are great, and they're good at what they do.
Absolutely. So I don't feel bad that we're dogging on this film, because if anyone can dog on it, it's the writer. The writer, you have every right to dog on this film because you wrote it,
Yeah.
And what was really funny to me was throughout the process, not so much while we were shooting it, but definitely when me and you got paired to edit it together, was seeing your slow decline into hope to indifference to I absolutely fucking hate this.
Well, and it happens the longer I work on something that has issues with it, the less I like it, and the more I turn evil, I guess.
Oh god,
I'm a little bit evil. That happens.
Right. I gotta ask too, like, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but you're so freaking good at coming up with fake names. Like, I totally forgot. So I didn't say this in the reaction, but you discredited yourself as the writer in our edit, and it's like Sterence Rodriguez. It says written by Sterence Rodriguez, which is a name you came up with, and then like Dominic Caramello, Jake Mamgardner, Jessica Laundromancer, and of course King Mortimer Rabinowitz III. Like, how do you come up with these names, dude? They're so good.
So all three of those first names, they were just in the script. I didn't think it was gonna go any further than that. just because they're never mentioned in the. But but then when we went to do the edit, we wanted to turn as many things as possible into a joke.
Yep.
Just because
Yep.
we're dicks, I suppose. There's this, I don't know if it's on Twitter or something, but there's this thing called Liartown USA that Ruggles showed me.
Uh-huh.
It occasionally did these things where it would be like fake credits for fake TV shows starring so-and-so and something.
Yeah.
And those 3 last names, I'm pretty sure came from that.
That's right. And also in the credits, we labeled Jack Oft as a production assistant.
I can actually tell you where that comes from. And it's from, like, we named that after a real thing. So I went to school with this kid named Andy, whose last name was Offit, and his brother Corey, and they had a dog named Jack.
Oh my God. Do you remember how did the whole idea for the How I Met Your Mother frame? How did that happen? Because we cut out major sections. Was it?
We did. We cut out a lot. We cut out an entire monologue.
Mm-hmm.
We cut out almost all of Jake's dialogue in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I think where it mostly came from is that, none of that really flowed very well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we cut that. But as far as the How I Met Your Mother thing, and then the A-teams.
Yeah, we'll get to the A-team later, but the How I Met Your Mother, unless
they're in the same place. I think at least part of that was because I had just started watching How I Met Your Mother at the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, did we just want to include narration or something?
I think so. I think because the funny thing about the narration is that, and I say this in the reaction, is that you make fun of your own writing. One of the funniest parts was, I totally forgot until I watched it, was when she slaps him and then he faints. And she's like, did I do that? And you're like, to this day, I have no idea what he meant. She clearly did that. And that's because as we were editing it, I remember we were laughing about that. Like, what does that mean? Like, she clearly did that. Why did she ask that question? And then you went in and made a narration to make fun of your own writing. And I thought that was so funny.
When I was writing it, it kind of came across that, like, she meant that as, like, I can't possibly be strong enough to slap a vampire around. What's going on?
Right.
And that's done from one of Joe's ideas where vampires would get, like, disoriented and almost drunk if they had too much blood or whatever. None of that really came across at all in the filming, so I'm like, oh my God.
Right. So it's starting to come back to me now. So when they chose a director, didn't the director also kind of have to do like a small rewrite, or like they would go over the script with the writer?
Yeah. We went over it over like a series of drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I guess trying to incorporate Joe's style into it, which is weird because I was doing all of the writing, and they would just sort of pitch stuff to me, and I'd be like, okay, I'll tinker with it, see what I can do, and then it's
right. So that was really funny, and you know what I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I vaguely remember the linchpin for all of it was us finding this bin of stock footage. Am I right?
Well, they supplied it to us. I don't know if they really expected us to go through and use so much of it.
Right.
Yeah, you can use this for like establishing shots.
Yeah, like a city. There's a ton of shots of a city.
Filler stuff.
It was just it was just like a thing they did like as an afterthought. Like, here's some stock footage, whatever. Probably.
Yeah, here's some stock footage just in case you need some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just spiraled out of control in our devious hands.
That's right. Oh God, I wish I remember, because I remember we put like a small montage without narration, without music, and we showed the professor, because I think the professor wanted to see how everyone's edits were going so far. And I remember we showed it to Casey first, and Casey died laughing without the narration, without anything. It was just the stock footage, and and he was dying. And then the frickin' professor came over and was just like, I have no idea what this is. And we were just trying to reassure him, like, oh, trust me, this is going to make sense. Like the dolphins and the bread making and all this, the spaceships and shit. We're like, yeah, don't worry, this will make sense. This will make sense. And he's like,
it's going to make sense.
It's going to make sense. And he's like, all right, I trust you. And then he was like, yeah.
That was his first mistake.
The A-Team, going to that, was that's the
A-Team. And how much time we spent on the font for the A-Team. It was just
it was so good. It was
all
so
the way.
good.
I mean, I have no words for that. It was, it's kind of where I am with the stuck necklace porn section.
Yeah.
I am trolling so hard, and I find it absolutely hilarious.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you that too, even though you answered it, you texted me. I was wondering if you genuinely thought that was funny or if you were just trolling, but you said it was both. Like, it's...
Oh yeah, it was 100% both. And I think I didn't know which one was funnier, because when I started doing the necklace porn scene, originally the music for that was I Want It All from Queen. It was amazing. But then the saxophone music made it sound like pornography, which was amazing in a different way.
Right. We did separate edits of Stuck, and just based on both our versions of Stuck with the necklace porn and the horror version, we were probably the two biggest people you did not want working on a project together.
Like, I don't know who it was that let it happen on Shopping, but
putting us together was like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, man.
Oh, another thing we didn't mention. I didn't mention this in the reaction, and I was going to mention it here. Something that we did that was also funny was there were two projects, Shopping and Saving Miles. And,
oh, yeah.
And Saving Miles it starred the same guy. Chris Shepherdson was the actor's name. It starred the same guy.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. So in Saving Miles, which is more like a drama drug story kind of thing, we took a clip of that movie, of the other class's movie, or not the other class, the other group's movie in our class.
Yeah, we took a clip of their movie, him getting his face slammed on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
We just threw that in our end credits sequence.
And we threw it in our end credits scene. Well, it's nice reminiscing with you.
Oh yeah.
And
that's dope.
And I think we're about to wrap it up here on camera. Any final words, Jeremy? Any social medias, any YouTube channels you want people to follow? We'll put it right in the description, or just none of that. It's up to you.
Nothing at present, but I'll let you know when there's something to keep an eye out for. Got secret projects I'm working on.
Oh, nice. We're gonna end the video here, but but here's what I want you to do. Okay. I want you to hit him with clever catchphrase. I'll see you later, and then I want you to cover the camera.
Clever catchphrase. I'll see you later.